Here at Three Words Radio, and I'm talking to Carolyn Weber of the Milwaukee Bicycle Collective. And before I give any introduction to what that is, I'm just going to let you tell me what the Bicycle Collective in Milwaukee is about.
What we're about is giving free bikes to the community, So we do a variety of different programs. We recycle bikes, so we take donated bikes and then we fix them if we're able to, and if we're not able to fix them, we put them into scrap. So that way, at least rather than these bikes going to the landfills, which often happens, they're either getting to a new good home or at least they're getting recycled. And then we also do kids programs, and we have a couple of those, and then we also do education. So people can come to the Bike Collective and learn how to work on bikes. And for that, we work on a sweat equity model. So for every hour they give us, we give them $8 toward anything used in the collective.
That's a very nice idea. So, so there's several parts to this. Now, let's see. The first questions I guess I want to ask you about. Let's talk about the programs first, or maybe before we do that, let's talk about the physical space.
Okay.
So, first of all, where is this located?
We're on 29th and Clybourne, which is the Merrill Park neighborhood. It's a little west of Marquette still. And that's like Merrill Park and Concordia, which neighborhood are right next to each other. It's actually one of the lowest income black neighborhoods in Milwaukee. There is no bike shop in the area until you get to Wauwatosa or Eastside Milwaukee. So we are the closest thing that people have to a bike. Until the recently opened new Bike Collective Culture space opened up. Okay. So now there's one downtown.
Oh, okay. Now, this location, how big is this building? Is it a factory?
We're on the second floor of a pretty large building. We filled the space. We definitely have too many bikes in there right now, which is something we've been working on this summer, is to start figuring out a way of diverting more bikes out of the space so we can take in more. But we have 5 workstands set up, 5 benches with full set of tools, and then we have probably close to about 250 bikes in the space right now, from the little kid tricycles to like the larger adult bikes.
And so, how big of a space is this? Is it as big as this cafe, or a little smaller?
It's a little bit bigger than Fuel.
Oh, that's pretty good. Pretty good size.
We've got a fair amount, pretty big space. There are stairs upstairs, so unfortunately we're not as accessible as we would like to be. But the space is donated generously by Tom Fritz, who owns a photography studio down in that area. 10 years ago, the space the Milwaukee Bicycle Collective actually started in River West. We think about 13 years ago. We love have to know more history of the beginning if anybody in River West has that, because we're a little fuzzy on that portion. But in 2002, they moved to this location. Tom Fritz's son was part of the Bike Collective at the time, and he donated the entire upstairs area of his building to us. And to this date, he still donates the space to us. So all we actually pay is water and trash removal.
Wow.
So as a bike collective, that's a very affordable model because we don't have
that kind of overhead.
A huge overhead
Right,
like most bike collectives do.
Yeah.
So we can sell 20 bikes a year and still make our money back.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit between people who buy a bike and people who put sweat equity into it. So now let's say that somebody just walks in off the street, I want to buy a bike, you've got some bikes sitting there. How do you determine what the cost will be?
We don't have a formal structure. It's one of those things as a key holder. I like to talk about how we work, who becomes a key holder. As a key holder, you just learn, like a cheaper department store bike that we managed to get working again, so we get the brakes working and the shifting's okay, we price usually about $20. Our bikes range between $20 to $300, depending what we get in.
Yeah.
Most people who just walk in on the street, like on Monday, I had a guy come in, he commutes to Miller Park from that neighborhood. So he's got about a 2.5-mile commute. And he's been walking it, and he's been frustrated about walking, so he came in, bought a bike for 40 bucks. He didn't want to put any work toward it, he just wanted a bike.
Yeah.
So our volunteers work on fixing up, so we have a small stock of ready-to-go bikes, typically $20 to $40.
Now talk a little bit about the volunteers, too. Are these people who are just there to work for sweat equity, or are they there to just promote this collective?
Both.
Both.
I've been volunteering there 1.5 years, and I haven't claimed one single bike yet. But I have done a couple of parts, and like last night I used some stand time to work on my own bike. Some people just come in, like I had a 10-year-old girl a couple weeks ago. She came in and did her 5 hours, and she learned how to work on a bike, and then she got a bike out of it. You know,
Nice.
but I haven't seen her since.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes we have kids who get a bike, then they destroy it and they come back, and then we work with them again and send them back out again. Or people can also do a half model. So some people, like one of my volunteers, she got her bike stolen, and so she had most of the hours toward her bike, but she just paid the rest in cash. So, you know, and so the nicer bikes, so sometimes we get in some rare bikes or some old, like some of the nicer Schwinns, the Giants. We got a couple Bridgestones in right now, which are more high-end, older bicycles. We look on eBay, we see what they're going for, and we typically try to get around that because we're not going to undersell the bike shops. You know, that's not our reason for being there. We're there to provide a resource for them to be able to either buy a bike or earn a bike, depending which way people want to go. But at the same time, we can't undersell a local bike shop.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, talk a little bit more about like the sweat equity. Now, you say you have stand time. Explain what that means.
So, as a volunteer, we have different levels of volunteerism. We have people who just generally volunteer, which are often usually the kids, and people just want to come in for a couple of hours and earn a quick break. And for that, everybody who volunteers gets $8 an hour of bike collective money. You know, and that $8 goes toward any used parts or any new bikes that are in the space. Now, then that can go from people start volunteering, they find they really like it, and then they stay a little bit longer, they keep coming every week or every couple of weeks. Now, if you put in 8 hours a month of time of sweat equity, you get to be called what's called a dedicated volunteer. So there's some extra perks that come with that. So some ordering perks, because we do have an account through J&B, and at that point we will work with you in getting parts for your bike and all that. But you got to give us the time and show that. And then I'm not going to say what the percentages are because that's something we work out with our team leader. But just say, like, if somebody gives us 8 hours a month, they are now considered essentially a shop employee.
What if they want to put in more than 8 hours?
If they're putting more than 8 hours, they will start becoming what's called a key holder status.
Okay.
So one of our current volunteers, one of our current key holders actually was a MyEd intern. So we work with MyEd and get interns in for service learning. And he actually stuck around. And he kept volunteering, working on his own bikes, working on other people's bikes, and he kept coming in. Well, when he graduated this summer, he has put in over 6 months, at least 6 months or more, of 8 hours a month or more.
Wow.
And so because of that, he asked for a key, and then we collectively at our meetings decide, yes, you have gotten, the right to have a key. You've shown us that you have the time.
Oh, you mean a key to the place
Yeah.
to come in and work anytime you want.
Exactly.
So is that a lifetime key?
No, it's based on you have to keep, in order to become a key holder, you have to have 8 hours a month in, and you got to attend at least half of our meetings.
Okay.
So if you do that, then you get to keep the key, and if you disappear on us, then we get the key back.
Okay.
Right now we currently have 6 key holders. So we're actually at a low end of key holders, so right now we're really in a need of more people who can step up and do it, because honestly, the more people who volunteer, the more we can be open.
Yeah.
Our biggest problem is that we don't have enough key holders, and we all have jobs.
Yeah.
We have somewhere to be.
Right, so everything is volunteer. Does anybody ever...
However, for key holders, there is a small stipend, very, very small stipend, every month that you get as long as you hold your hours.
Okay.
Many of us use that stipend to get parts
For the bike. Yeah, support your habit.
Exactly. But there is a lot of incentives that have been built in to keep people there. Like, I currently have about $900 of sweat equity that I haven't used, but if I ever want to, I can get a bike, I can get some parts, so there are...
So it adds up.
It adds up, and I get a stipend every month, too.
It's better than a savings account right now.
Yeah, it's more than I got in my savings account.
Yeah. But, at the same time, you're getting something of value, for this time that you put in, more so than, the interest rate on a savings. I mean, if you had $900 in the savings account, you get 90 cents.
Yeah. And then you get a lot of experience.
In like a month, maybe, if you're lucky to get that. So, this is, in a sense, this is better. This is part of the new economy. This is better.
Oh, yeah.
Than,
Yeah, it's not based on cash, it's based on your time.
Yeah.
And we still do need cash to keep going.
Yeah.
We do have some bills.
That's a good,
we can operate on a very low budget.
That's a good segue. So can people just donate? Can people just drop some money off a check, or is it tax deductible?
Here we are. We're a nonprofit since 2002, and we do maintain that nonprofit status. So anybody can donate money at any time if they want to drop off a check or cash. We take bikes at any time, so if people want to donate bikes, we take any bikes in any condition. If it's not savable, we, again, make sure it responsibly gets to a scrapyard instead of a landfill.
So let's talk about that a little bit too. So you have this bike and it's sitting in the garage, and your kids are gone, they got all new fancy bikes, and they want to drop this off. What kind of, what are they looking at as far as donation for the tax write-off?
It depends on the bike. If it's like a Walmart bike, I look at like $5.
Okay.
$5 to $10 depending on the condition, and then if it's a nicer bike, you're looking at like 25 or 30. So we have the forms, we fill out the tax donation forms, and then we give it to you, and then the person's able to go and put it off their taxes for the year.
I'm sure there's garages all over Milwaukee with some pretty nice bikes in it.
Oh yeah, we would love to get some of those bikes in.
Yeah.
And even if they're not so great, at least then we know it's not going to a place that we don't want them to go to. Because also there's enough of those bikes going that direction.
Talk about these old Walmart and Kmart bikes that are pretty trashy. They don't last very long. Where do you actually send them? I mean, there's enough aluminum in there to recycle it. We work with scrappers in the area. We have one guy we currently work with. We just call him, and he
he picks up his truck and he takes everything and brings it there. Yeah, aluminum's worth actually quite a bit right now.
Yeah,
so.
it is. Yeah, all precious metals or metals in general.
Yeah.
So does he give you money for the scraps, or does you just give it to him and
we
you let
currently
him?
don't have the funds to buy a truck.
Yeah.
So in the past we've done our own scrapping. I haven't been part of that, but historically we get $20 here and there, which is not worth their time.
No, right.
You know, it just gives one of the local guys who scraps some additional business he normally wouldn't have gotten.
That helps him.
We actually tend to help him out more for taking the time out than.
And that's nice because he's providing a service and it keeps him going, and he's kind of his own little entrepreneur there, driving up and down the alleys, picking up the
and
garbage.
He doesn't have to go pick it up.
Yeah,
give him a call.
It's worth it. Talk a little bit more about this stuff for kids. Now, let's say, for instance, there's what's the youngest kid you had who came in to want to get a bike?
As young as 3, 2.
But the parents came with them.
Yes, hopefully. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many siblings come in together.
Yeah.
We have 2 kids programs. One is kids 5 and under get 1 free bike once a year. So we have, I think we had probably about 200 kids bikes this winter.
Yeah.
And we actually yesterday just had one come back. So sometimes we'll have like these kids 5 and under bikes will go out, they'll use them for the time, and then actually sometimes they usually come back to us, and the kids will exchange out for the next one and then keep going. So
great idea.
It's a nice way of not having to have more kids bikes out than we really need. And then also we have kids 6 and over.
Okay.
They can volunteer toward them.
Yeah.
Depending on the maturity level of the 6-year-old. We kind of work with that age.
So you have them maybe clean bikes or pick stuff up around
various
the shop?
things. That's actually one of the things we're working on that we would love volunteers to help us with is we're trying to develop more of an education program with the kids. Like right now we do general tasks. We clean. We teach them how to fix flats. Anybody can learn how to change a flat. I don't care how old you are.
Yeah.
Even our 6-year-olds can learn how to change a flat if they have an easy enough tire to get off. But then we show them, parts of a bike, realize how everything works, try to give them some sense of ownership.
Yeah.
Because we find that kids who learn more about how hard it is to fix a bike, once it's ruined, they are more likely to take care of that bike than just throw it to the curb.
Right.
Then they're like, they actually use the kickstand, or maybe they don't ride in the middle of the road. They're more aware of this bike is worth something. It's not just a free thing.
It has part of them in it, so that's, they learn a little bit more respect for the objects or the item that they have.
So one of our models with the kids is nothing's free. And we have a lot of discussions with kids about that because they're like, it's free. And it's like, it's not free, you earn it. We're trying to get them to understand that. It doesn't matter, I think, where politically your views are in like the United States right now. It's like, I think we need to start realizing, especially for a young generation, that to teach them those values that if you want something, you can work for it. It doesn't need to be money. It can be your time and your effort and putting into
There's more value to it. You're teaching values here. Now, what about, you have any school programs? There's a lot of schools here at MPS.
The Bike Fed does most of that.
Pardon?
The Bicycle Federation does many of those programs. They do the Safe Routes to School program, and they do the North Division High School has a bike shop program. So we actually more defer the local school questions to the Bike Fed.
Explain that. I'm not quite following along with that. That's like a program at MPS or something or is it outside of MPS?
It's outside of MPS, but MPS works with Wisconsin Bicycle Federation.
And what is Wisconsin Bicycle Federation?
They are a bicycle advocacy group for the state of Wisconsin. So they're the ones who get the laws changed. They fight. They're the ones who are representing bicyclists in Wisconsin.
I see.
And they do a lot of good programs like the Safe Routes to School program and the mechanics class. However, we have done some things where we had like a special education teacher contacted us to see if we can work out a deal deal with helmets for our kids for the trike that they have.
Yeah, yeah.
So we worked out like a deal so that way she can get a bit more affordable helmets
Right. Yeah.
for the kids at the school.
Good idea.
We've also had recently a Boy Scout troop come up. And
Yeah.
the Boy Scout troop came up for like a 2-hour special class.
Yeah.
There's
So
some
that-
possibilities of us working with Hope House, a nonprofit that I just recently talked to someone about. So we have nonprofits who contact us who want to do education classes, and we do our best to accommodate that within our ability.
Yeah.
Again, it's just, we're only open 3 days a week.
Okay.
And so it's really hard for us to really accommodate more
Yeah.
school programs than we currently have.
Oh, okay. All right. So basically, when people come to the collective, they're going there for specific reasons. They're going there to find a bicycle. They're going there to earn some sweat equity to get a bicycle, or they just love bicycles and want to
Learn more about how
Yeah.
to work on them. Yeah.
And as far as reaching out to the community, I mean, I found out about the Bike Collective via word of mouth, and I know a couple people who went there and they, spent some time on some Saturdays and they were fixing their bikes and they just liked the whole idea behind it. So, can you add, what else this initiative does? What it's been doing, and how you think it's valuable to the community.
What we have been doing is, you're right, we don't do a lot of outreach actually as an organization, and honestly we haven't needed to. I mean, we've been around for 10 years. People find out about us because the word of mouth. If you Google do it yourself, fix my own bike, or along those lines, we're like the first hit in Milwaukee. We have bikecollective.org as a website, so which shows how long we've been around.
Yeah.
We have a really great website, so that's one way we direct people. We've done things. We actually recently had the Whole Foods bag donation, like the dime a bag program. So our logo got put up at Whole Foods for like 3 months.
Oh.
So that was really great, like secondary advertising for us.
Did you get a lot of people who came in for that?
We don't know yet. We haven't found out. I'm trying to reach her right now still. But then we also, I did have some people stop in and said they saw it. We pop up when people search for bike donations. Us and Dream Bikes are 2 places people can drop off bikes. So we find that we haven't done much outreach, but we did do this year on Gordon Park, Energy Independence Day. We were there giving up free tune-ups, letting the community know. If we had more volunteers, something we would like to do is get out more at the farmers markets and like things like that, doing like tune-ups and looking at people's bikes and just getting the word out that way. The most effective way we get out in the community is usually by doing small like tent or tune-ups at these little events that we can talk to people one-on-one about what we do, and then that's usually Bike to Work Week. We were at Bike to Work Week all week at Foundry, and we really outreach to the bike community that way. So within our limited time that the key holders have, we're able to do more outreach.
Will you be doing anything at the rw24 this weekend?
We will not be. Most of us are racing.
This is like vacation for you
Exactly.
guys.
We're actually coming out open this weekend because of it.
Special holiday.
And then the second question was initiatives.
Yeah, the initiatives. I guess. Well, I was wondering about, if you. Well, actually, you kind of covered that when you talked about the farmers market and these little tent stands and getting out that way. And I suppose it seems to me that the thing that this collective needs most of all are volunteers. So how do you attract volunteers? How do you get people to actually show up and keep showing up?
If they want their bike, they got to keep showing up. I mean, it's got like, if you don't show up, you don't get any money toward your bike. If your claim tag is over a month old, you lose claim to that bike. So you gotta keep showing up at least once in a while to get that bike.
Have you thought of initiatives, working with some sponsors, for instance, for instance, I'm just throwing this off the top of my head, Education Credit Union, right?
Yeah.
It's a credit union bank here in Milwaukee, and if they were to sponsor you, maybe throw some money your way to help with, with bikes or fixing the bikes, or even putting out a campaign to get volunteers, would you be interested in doing something like that?
I mean, we did something with that. We recently gave a talk at the Miller Corporation, actually. They asked us to come and do a talk about bikes and safety and commuting, and they actually are doing a bike drive for us. And they also are offering some sponsorship. Lakefront has recently generously sponsored us for beverages for our meetings, which is really nice. Actually, at the bottom of our webpage, we have lots of links to different places that have sponsored us over the years. Maybe we had Whole Foods, Concordia neighborhood group gave us some money, which actually next year, this coming winter, is something new at the Bike Collective. We have heat for the first time in 10 years.
Wow.
We haven't had heat in 10 years. And so this winter we can actually work in this space versus bundling up once a month and getting out there. So that's completely going to change what we can do for the spring. We can get so much more of a head start and do more education when it's slower. But the only thing is we haven't done much outreach because we have such a small budget. We can function on $5,000 a year. As a nonprofit, it's a very low number. And so we have been really lucky that people just kind of outreach to us. The green thing is really trendy right now. And reusing recycling bikes, people really like the idea, and that's why we're there. We love the idea.
We have this opportunity because this will be playing during the rw24, and we are hoping people will be listening, and maybe there's a number of people not from the area who will be racing, but there will be people all over the area. And what can you say to them to convince them to come on down, and even if they don't use the sweat equity towards their benefits, to come in and volunteer? What can you say to them to say, you got a Saturday? Come on down.
It feels good to go in. It feels good. It's empowering to work on your own bike. Even if, to be more empowered when you go bike shopping. It's worth coming by for a couple of hours and just check us out. Maybe you'll find a bike that you want to go on, or maybe you just want to talk to someone about different bike styles or be more connected into the bike community. But the ability to change your own flat can really change, how you commute. Now, you can, rather than just biking a couple of miles, you'll feel more, I find that more people are willing to bike further. Because now you can change that flat and be able to know you can get home. So it's I encourage people just to come by and even just learn something about their bike that you may have not learned. And if you don't want to work on your own bike, that's okay. We've got plenty of them. We always need somebody to work on a bike. And it's more than just, you don't need to know how to work on it. Most of my volunteers don't know anything about fixing a bike. I knew very little when I started, and I'm working at a bike shop now, and two of our other key holders work at a bike shop as well, and one of them, Sam, is 40 hours a week over at Truly Spoken right now. The fact we've been coming, it's a place where you can learn a little bit and just get more comfortable on your bike and feel more comfortable when you go out for a bike trip, that you can handle some minor mechanical issues with your bike. And then or get to the point where you can actually work for a bike shop. And that's really a cool opportunity. So now we have one person has a fully employed full-time job. And another person has a part-time job doing it, and I do it as well. And looking at opening a bike shop. So
will always be bicycles, You want to talk about this bicycle shop and hostel? You want to give just kind of brief what it is that your vision is for this idea that you have?
Looking to take the skills that I've learned at the Bike Collective and various other nonprofits I've been working with and open opening a 40-bed hostel in Walker's Point with a bike shop and a rental. So, and actually for the rental bikes, that $900 that I have is going to be really useful very soon because now I get some rental bikes out of it.
Yeah.
So I'm actually using my sweat equity to help start a business up. So people can come to Milwaukee and rent a bicycle, go down to a ball game, go chill out at Miller Park all day and then ride back. Or they can just go check out the beautiful lakefront, the lake park, Summerfest grounds, museums, yeah. And so we're looking at trying to get more bike tourism in the city. We currently have some happening, but currently we don't have anybody who's traveling by bike where they can come and stay, or where people can come and get a bike at the same place that they're staying at.
Well, tell our audience how they can contact you for either the collective or this idea that you have. Maybe they're interested in financing that or
We're
helping.
looking for investors.
Yeah, it's a wonderful idea. But give them where you're located, your phone number, and an email address.
Okay, we're located at 2910 East Clybourne? No, West Clybourne. I always mix up the one. So 2910 West Clybourne. We're between 29th Street and 30th Street by Marquette. And our phone number is on our website. I don't have that memorized.
And give the whole website then.
So it's bikecollective.org.
Bikecollective.org.
And our hours are up on there. We have our schedule up, who's coming in.
Yeah.
We have our phone number and we have our address. You can drop off bikes anytime that we're open. If the bike's in River West, we can possibly work with you and pick it up and bring it to the Bike Collective. Always call before you come. We are a volunteer run.
Yeah.
We're not always on time. So it's always good just to give a quick phone call before you head over, because we know it's about a 5-mile commute from River West.
Yeah.
Just make sure we're open.
Well, I want to thank my guest today, Carolyn Weber, for joining me here on Three Words Radio. Spread the word of our efforts to bring enlightened voices and topics that affect your life in the community, the nation, and the world. Three Words Radio shows are archived for your convenience at rw24.com and on YouTube at Three Words Radio. We hope you will listen and continue to support your public community radio waves. Remember, you own them. Support and take good care. This is Eliza Brooks. Thank you for listening.
That's all.
Okay, that was an interview with Carol Weber from the Milwaukee Bike Collective. And now I'm going to play what I call rw24 voices. And the question I asked these people who are involved or volunteering or riding in the rw24 race is, what does River West 24 mean to you? So these are their answers.
rw24 is by far the most original community building event that I have ever seen in my life. It's brilliant, brilliantly done. It engages so many people in the neighborhood. It helps the neighborhood come together around a project, and it really, the people who participate feel like they're part of something that is just bigger than themselves, and a major celebration of being human.
Lots of punches. My house, checkpoint 1. Community, bikers coming out for 24 hours. All of us, like it's like a community hub.
Just wait 1 second. I'll tell you when I'm ready. I guess I think because it means so much to me. I don't even know what I'm going to say, but I think I'm ready. Are you ready? Are you recording all of this? rw24 means so much to me. It's about our community that people kind of poo-poo on or don't want to live in River West. I lived in Shorewood, Whitefish Bay, Bayview, and nobody has this. This is my favorite weekend of the entire year. It comes before my kids, 4 and 12 years old. It comes before Christmas. It comes before New Year's. It comes for everything. The rw24. We are so excited to have 500 people on my front lawn right now. It's a community event. Oh, you okay? Yeah. You okay? Take turn. Oh, it's okay. It's just so many people this year. There's 1,000 riders, and we're all friends. I mean, it's like you don't know anybody, but you're their friends, and it's just really, it shows a true, awesome, open-door community, and that's what I want everybody. It's not a ride, it's a we say backwards. It's not a race, it's a ride, and that's what it is. So I'll be the first to tell people, slow down, like enjoy it, just stop and enjoy it, because we're all opening our doors to you. That's what it is. Is that good?
It actually means a lot to me. I just rode a bus 27 hours to be here. I moved to Austin, Texas. I've lived in 2 different houses on this block. I can't escape this neighborhood specifically, checkpoint 2. I love all my neighbors, all their kids. Been watching them grow up for 5 years, and I wouldn't miss this for the world. And I said this morning, I was like, it's like this energy. Feel it like it's like a holiday. So and someone's like, it is a holiday. I was like, you're right. That's why I come home for it. So I love it. I'm glad it's still going on 5 years later.
rw24 means to me that we're trying to get people to come out and participate in something for more than just a 2-hour stint or something. Not just to come here and consume something, but try to take in the neighborhood and push yourself a little and hang out with people for more than a tiny amount of time. So that's what I think we're trying to do here.
rw24 means to me, it means the neighborhood coming together and organizing a really incredible project.
What was it?
7-2. It means a lot of yelling numbers, right?
Yeah. What was that? What lap?
90, lap 7.
That is 97.
Early o'clock.
It means a lot of friends too. Good late night with a good community, fun people.
Michael Dash.
Man, I don't know. That's a tough question, right? I know. What does it mean to me? A lot of, I guess, work and anxiety while it's happening, but then when it's over, amazingness and euphoria, and like, it's like that brother in arms kind of thing. You can only really like know somebody if you've stayed up for too long with them and tried to organize a bike race. So it brings people together. That's what it means to me. Community is what it means to me. So that's it. All right, thank you.
When I first moved here a year ago, and a year and a month ago, I was all about the neighborhood and all about co-ops and the sort of like communitas that this neighborhood has. And rw24 came around right quick, and I volunteered, and it was the best 24-hour period of the entire year. I've been looking forward to it ever since. So to me, it's really, really, really fun. And it's really, really, really fun because of what it does. It brings people out of their homes, puts them together, puts them in all kinds of crazy situations together. Most of all, it's doing something completely out of the ordinary. It's like Carnival, and it's like the mythic ethos of Carnival, where everything falls apart, and it's just like people being people together.
One step into your feet, angels are walking.
It's a really beautiful night where the whole, can I look at you? Okay. Where the whole community comes together, and you can just be out and meeting neighbors that you never would have met before on any other day. It's like a day where it's okay to be one big family and no one is nervous or shy. It's like a night to just unite.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Any other questions?
Just
exclusive.
That's all.
Well, that was River West 24 voices, and they'll be to be continued. There'll be part 2 of that, and that will be uploaded on the YouTube channel, Three Words Radio, and at threewordsradio.org. Yeah, I need to finish it because we're not done yet. The race is still going on. We're getting close to the end now. It's near 6 o'clock, and the race ends at 7. So we'll have part 2, maybe even part 3 of the Voices of River West. There's a lot more people who express their feelings about this very special event here in the neighborhood. It is really glorious. It is in so many ways. This is Christmas. This is Christmas in River West without Walmart and without the pressures of having to, buy a gift. You're the gift. Your participation, whether you're riding a bicycle, volunteering, organizing, whatever it is, all these people come together for. Really, yeah. So one of the people I asked said magic, perhaps maybe even a miracle. All right, that's all for Three Words Radio. Thank you for listening, and remember, these radio waves, they belong to you. Support, take good care.